Hello, my friend. Welcome to this quiet space. Tonight we will explore a surprising aspect of medieval life. We often imagine a past that was perhaps quite unhygienic. But what if their understanding of being clean, their daily practices, were simply different from our own? And perhaps in their own way, quite effective. Please allow your body to gently relax. Perhaps you can let your shoulders soften. Perhaps you can take a slow, quiet breath, feeling it fill you, then softly release. Just allow yourself to settle in. We are about to step back in time. Imagine a world without running water on demand, without personal bathrooms or the daily ritual of a hot shower. Picture a society where cleanliness was achieved through different means, often involving the elements of nature itself and simple, consistent habits. We will not dwell on the negative aspects, my friend. Instead, we will gently explore their methods, their natural solutions, their unhurried approach to personal care. We will observe how they maintain themselves not with our modern expectations, but with the resources and understanding of their own era. In our bustling, always-on modern world, our ideas of cleanliness are often linked to daily rituals involving endless products, and often a subtle anxiety about being not clean enough. We worry about germs, about odors, about perfection. This can sometimes add another layer of stress to our already busy minds. But what if, for medieval people, the very definition of clean was different? What if their practices, though unfamiliar to us, allowed for a different kind of ease? A connection to the body and the environment that was less demanding, less stressful? This isn't a story of dirt and squalor, but of cleanliness redefined, not lost. It's about a different rhythm, a different relationship with one's body and the world. Tonight we will gently turn back the pages of history. We will embark on a calm journey to discover how medieval people, without our modern conveniences, maintained their sense of well-being. Each chapter will gently reveal a different method, a different perspective, showing us how they managed to feel clean and comfortable in their own skin. My hope is that by understanding their world, by allowing your mind to gently wander through these peaceful historical moments, you can find a quiet echo of that ancient calm within yourself. You can allow this journey to help your own mind settle, to guide you towards your own deep restorative rest. This isn't just history. It's a peaceful reflection, a soothing whisper from the past, inviting us to consider a simpler relationship with our bodies and our environment, and perhaps finding a calmer path to sleep. So take another slow, quiet breath. Let your body feel heavy and safe. Let us begin our peaceful journey into the slumber of forgotten times. Imagine waking not to an alarm, but to the soft glow of dawn. The air is crisp, perhaps a little misty. You are lying on a simple bed stuffed with straw, or perhaps soft rushes. The sounds around you are gentle, the rustling of leaves, the distant call of a rooster. There is no rush, no urgency. The day's work awaits, but it unfolds at a pace set by nature itself. Let's try to experience their world through their senses. The taste of simple food, perhaps a warm porridge made from oats or barley. The feel of linen or wool against your skin, rough yet comforting. The smell of herbs hanging to dry, mixed with the earthy scent of a thatched roof. Hygiene, as we know, it was different, but not absent. Imagine the sounds of the day, the gentle clinking of pottery, the soft murmur of voices, the distant lowing of cattle. and the smells, the fresh scent of lavender used to freshen linens, the sharp tang of vinegar used for cleaning. It was a sensory world immediate and connected to nature. As we settle into this medieval morning, let's consider their first acts of cleanliness. Perhaps it begins with a simple basin of water collected from a nearby stream. Cool and refreshing, it's used to wash the face and hands. This isn't just about removing dirt. It's a ritual, a way to greet the day, to feel refreshed and ready. They might use a soft cloth, perhaps made of linen, to gently cleanse their skin. Maybe they add a few drops of rose water, a luxury, but one that brings a sense of freshness and well-being. The scent lingers, a subtle reminder of care throughout the day. For teeth, they might use a small twig frayed at one end, creating a natural brush. Herbs like mint or sage could be chewed, not just for fresh breath, but for their believed medicinal properties. These simple acts connected them to nature, to the cycle of growth and renewal. As we imagine this gentle start to the day, allow yourself to feel a sense of calm. There's no rush, no list of products to apply. Just simple, effective acts of care, using what nature provides. Let this thought settle over you like a soft, warm blanket. Now, as the day begins to unfold, we'll explore more of their practices. But for now, let this peaceful medieval morning lull you. Let the simplicity of their routines remind you that cleanliness and care can be found in the most basic of acts, that sometimes less truly is more. So breathe deeply, my friend. Let your mind wander through this quiet historical landscape. Allow the gentle rituals of a bygone era to guide you toward your own peaceful slumber. For in understanding their world, we might just find a simpler, more restful path in our own. Outdoor life. Constant air circulation. The air is cool, perhaps damp, as we journey back to medieval Europe in the year 1325. Their days were spent in fields, forests, or simply moving about in the open air. Unlike our modern sealed environments, they were in constant air circulation. Feel the gentle breeze on your skin, a constant companion throughout the day. It carries away stale air, dust, and odors, serving as nature's own ventilation system. This continuous movement of air around their bodies, through their hair, and around their clothing was a natural, passive form of cleansing. It wasn't a wash as we think of it today, but a constant aeration, preventing the heavy buildup of odors that accumulate in still environments. Imagine this unspoken ritual of refreshing their bodies, a subtle yet powerful contribution to their overall sense of well-being. The moving air worked constantly to keep them feeling lighter and fresher. It was nature's gentle way of maintaining a level of cleanliness, even in the absence of our modern hygiene practices. And accompanying this moving air was the pervasive presence of sunlight, acting as a powerful natural purifier. In a time before harsh chemical disinfectants, the sun was recognized for its cleansing properties. Picture garments hung out to dry, not just to remove moisture, but to be refreshed by its rays. Sunlight has natural antibacterial properties, helping to break down organic compounds that contribute to odors and dirt. Their textiles, often made from natural fibers like wool and linen, would be regularly exposed to the sun's warmth and light. This helped keep them fresh between more thorough cleanings. Feel the sun's warmth on your skin, its light surrounding you. This constant, gentle exposure wasn't just about warmth. It was a subtle, continuous process of purification for their skin, hair, and clothes. The sun's energy helped evaporate moisture, preventing the growth of mildew and bacteria. This natural, effortless cleansing was a vital, often overlooked aspect of how medieval people managed to stay clean without our modern showering habits. It was a pervasive, gentle force, subtly contributing to their overall freshness and comfort. As we stand here, surrounded by the fresh breeze and warm sunlight, we can almost feel the gentle cleansing effect on our own skin. The air moves around us, carrying away the staleness of the day, while the sun's rays work their quiet magic on our clothes and bodies. This natural wash was not a conscious act, but rather an integral part of their daily existence. It was a constant background process that helped maintain a level of cleanliness we might not expect from this era. The open-air lifestyle, combined with the purifying effects of sunlight, created a more hygienic environment than we might initially assume. Let's walk through a typical day, feeling the effects of this natural cleansing. As we rise with the dawn, the cool morning air invigorates us, shaking off the last vestiges of sleep. As we move about our tasks, whether tending to animals, working in the fields, or practicing a craft, we're constantly surrounded by moving air. The breeze might carry the scent of nearby herbs or flowers, adding a natural fragrance to the air. It might be stronger some days, almost playful, as it tussles hair and billows clothing. On other days, it might be a gentle whisper, barely noticeable, but still working its magic. As the sun climbs higher, we feel its warmth intensify. The fibers expand and contract, releasing trapped odors and dirt. The day's accumulated warmth slowly dissipates, carried away by the evening breeze. The wind would sweep through, carrying away the accumulated odors and staleness that might otherwise linger. The importance of this natural cleansing becomes even more apparent when we consider the limited access to water many medieval people had. As night falls, we can reflect on how this natural cleansing has affected us throughout the day. Our skin feels refreshed, our clothes aired out. It wasn't about aggressive scrubbing or harsh chemicals, but about living in harmony with the natural cleansing elements of their environment. In the quiet of the night, we might reflect on how this natural cleansing connects us to the rhythms of the natural world. They worked tirelessly, day and night, to keep people fresher and cleaner than we might imagine. Vigorous rubbing, removing dust and dirt. Now, my friend, let us delve deeper into the daily rituals of cleanliness in medieval times. We have explored how the open air and sunlight played their part in maintaining a subtle freshness. But there was more to their routine, a more active approach that didn't rely on abundant water. Imagine, if you will, the simple act of rubbing your skin with a rough cloth. This was not a gentle caress, but a vigorous scrubbing, a determined effort to remove the day's accumulation of dust and grime. The cloth, perhaps made of coarse linen or wool, would be used dry or slightly dampened. As they rubbed, they could feel the satisfying sensation of dirt and dead skin being sloughed away. Close your eyes and picture this scene. The early morning light filters through a small window. A figure stands, methodically working the cloth over their arms, their face, their neck. There's a rhythm to it, a practiced efficiency. This wasn't about luxury or indulgence. It was a practical necessity, a way to maintain cleanliness without the need for precious water resources. The sensation would have been invigorating, stimulating blood flow, and leaving the skin feeling refreshed. It was their version of a daily shower, a dry cleanse that left them feeling renewed and ready to face the day's labors. But the cloth wasn't the only tool in their arsenal of cleanliness. Consider the humble brush, a constant companion in their daily routine. Imagine the long, repetitive strokes as they tended to their hair. The brush would catch and remove loose strands, bits of straw from their bedding, and any unwelcome visitors that might have taken up residence. This wasn't just about appearance. The act of brushing was crucial for scalp health, promoting circulation and preventing the buildup of oils and debris. It was a form of preventative care, a way to maintain cleanliness and comfort in an era before modern shampoos and conditioners. Now, let your mind wander to the care of their clothing. Picture a person standing outside their dwelling, perhaps in the soft light of early evening. They're methodically brushing their outer garments, the bristles catching and removing the day's accumulation of dust and debris. This wasn't a quick shake or pat down. It was a thorough, almost meditative process. The brush would move in long, steady strokes, from top to bottom. Any spots of dried mud would be carefully worked at until they crumbled away. This diligent care extended the life of their clothing, keeping it presentable and functional for far longer than we might expect. Clothing in medieval times was a valuable commodity, not easily replaced. This daily brushing was more than just cleaning. It was an act of preservation, a way to protect and maintain one of their most important possessions. As you envision this scene, try to hear the soft swish of the brush against fabric. Feel the satisfaction of seeing a garment transformed, looking fresher and cleaner with each stroke. This was their laundry day, a daily ritual that kept their limited wardrobe in the best possible condition. The importance of these dry cleaning methods cannot be overstated. In a world where full immersion bathing was infrequent, these daily rituals of rubbing and brushing were the foundation of personal hygiene. They provided a sense of cleanliness, a feeling of starting each day fresh and renewed. Think about the tactile nature of this approach to cleanliness. It was hands-on, immediate. There was no waiting for water to heat, no need for soap or other cleansing agents. It was a direct interaction between person and tool, a physical engagement with the process of getting clean. This approach to hygiene was deeply integrated into their daily lives. It wasn't a separate activity, set apart from the rest of their routine. It was woven into the fabric of their day, as natural and necessary as eating or working. As we consider these practices, it's important to remember the context of their lives. The medieval world was one of physical labor, of close contact with the earth and animals. Their days were filled with activities that we might consider dirty or grimy. Yet through these simple, consistent practices, they maintained a level of cleanliness that allowed them to function and thrive. Imagine the feeling of satisfaction as they completed these rituals. The skin tingling from the vigorous rubbing, the hair smooth and untangled, clothing refreshed and ready for another day of wear. It was a holistic approach to personal care, addressing not just cleanliness, but also comfort and the longevity of their possessions. These practices have been passed down through generations, and you know what? They've really been refined and adapted over time. It's like a treasure trove of practical wisdom, showing us how to keep things clean and healthy, even when resources are tight. Just think about it. Using simple herbs for natural cleaning, or finding ways to recycle materials. It's a true testament to human creativity and adaptability, right? We've always found clever solutions, making the most out of what we have. And it's honestly inspiring to see how people can thrive within their environment's limits. When we take a moment to reflect on these practices, it's amazing how we can start to really appreciate the simple tools we have in our lives, right? Think about it. A cloth, a brush. These everyday items that we often overlook were once the backbone of daily hygiene routines. Can you imagine how different life was without them? Just picture someone using a rough cloth to clean up or a simple brush to keep their teeth in check. It is wild to think about how these basics shaped the way people lived and cared for themselves. They were essentials, not just extras. So next time you reach for that brush or cloth, remember they're not just tools. They're part of a long history of self-care. In our busy lives with all the water and fancy cleaning products around, we often forget how awesome dry cleaning methods can be. But honestly, they still pack a punch. They're super resource friendly and can really keep things clean without all the fuss. Isn't that something we should think about more? The medieval way of dry cleansing really shows us that being clean doesn't have to be a big production. Think about it. Back then, people used simple tools like brushes and cloths to keep things tidy. It's kind of amazing, right? This approach teaches us that sometimes the easiest methods are the best. Fast forward to today, and we're still learning from that. With all the fancy products out there, it's refreshing to remember that a little resourcefulness can go a long way. Plus, using less can be better for the planet, which is a win-win. So whether it's using a natural cloth or a homemade solution, embracing these simple techniques can lead to a more sustainable lifestyle. What do you think? Isn't it cool how some old school ideas still hold up? Wrapping up our journey through these dry cleansing methods, it's pretty cool to think about how our ancestors tackled cleanliness out of pure necessity. They had to get creative, right? From using natural oils to simple scrubbing techniques, their methods were all about practicality. It's fascinating how these straightforward approaches still carry so much wisdom today. Just imagine how their resourcefulness shaped our understanding of hygiene. So next time you're cleaning up, remember those who paved the way with their clever ideas. In our next chapter, we'll turn our attention to where water did play a role in their hygiene practices. We'll explore the targeted use of water for specific parts of the body, another crucial aspect of their approach to cleanliness. Join me as we delve into the humble bowl and basin, targeted washing, and continue our journey through the daily lives of our medieval ancestors. Face, hands, and feet, the focus of personal washing. My friend, let us now turn our attention to the humble bowl and basin, where water truly played a role in medieval daily hygiene. The focused essential practice of targeted washing. Imagine a time when cleanliness wasn't about a full body immersion, but about diligently caring for the parts of the body that interacted most directly with the world. For medieval people, and indeed for much of history, the primary focus of personal washing was on the most exposed and frequently used areas the face, hands, and feet picture. Yourself starting your day by pouring a small amount of fresh water into a basin, perhaps warmed slightly by the fire, the cool splash of water on your face, waking you gently, the careful washing of your hands, removing the grime from daily tasks, and at the end of the day, the soothing practice of soaking and washing tired feet. These were vital acts of cleansing, not just for hygiene, but for comfort, hands constantly working, touching various surfaces. would accumulate dirt and grease. Washing them thoroughly was crucial feat, often confined in rough footwear or exposed to the ground, also needed regular attention. This targeted approach was practical and efficient, conserving precious water while still addressing the most critical areas for cleanliness and comfort. It was a conscious, deliberate ritual reinforcing a basic sense of personal care. And within this targeted washing, there was often the ritual of a gentle rinse. This wasn't about lathering with vast amounts of soap, but about the purity and refreshing quality of water itself. Imagine scooping water from the basin with cupped hands, or using a small cloth to carefully wash your face, neck, and hands. The sensation of the water cool and clean against the skin. The feeling of dirt and dust being gently lifted away. This simple act provided an immediate sense of refreshment and renewal. The water itself was often seen as purifying both physically and symbolically. This brief, focused interaction with water offered significant comfort and helped to maintain a basic level of personal cleanliness. This mindful, limited use of water meant it was truly valued. Each splash, each rinse was purposeful. It highlights a relationship with resources that was far more frugal than our own. These small daily acts of targeted washing were profoundly important for their sense of well-being, allowing them to feel fresh and calm, ready for rest or to face the day. Let us pause for a moment and truly immerse ourselves in this medieval scene close. Your eyes, if you wish, and picture a small wooden basin filled with clear water, perhaps placed on a rough-hewn table or a sturdy wooden stool. The early morning light filters through a small window, casting a soft glow on the water's surface. You can almost feel the coolness of the air on your skin as you prepare for this daily ritual. As you dip your hands into the water, feel the initial shock of cold, followed by a sense of awakening your fingertips. Gently splash water onto your face, the droplets trickling down your cheeks and neck washing away. The remnants of sleep, you cup your hands, bringing more water to your face, gently massaging your eyes and forehead. The simple act is both cleansing and meditative, a moment of quiet reflection before the day's labors begin. Now imagine focusing on your hands, those vital tools of daily life. You might use a small piece of rough cloth to scrub between your fingers and under your nails. The water in the basin gradually darkens as it lifts away the accumulated grime of yesterday's work. There's a satisfaction in seeing the clear difference between your clean hands and the now murky water, a tangible sign of renewal. As the day progresses, you might return to this basin several times, perhaps to rinse your face during a midday break, cooling your skin from the heat of work, or to wash your hands before a meal each time. The act is brief but significant, a moment of respite and care in a world that often demanded constant labor. And then, as evening falls, picture the soothing ritual of foot washing. After a long day of standing, walking, or working in the fields, you sit on a low stool, your feet aching and perhaps caked with dirt. You lower them into a shallow basin of water, the coolness immediately bringing relief to your tired soles. You might use a small brush or cloth to gently scrub away the day's accumulation, paying special attention to the spaces between your toes and the rough skin of your heels. This act of foot washing was not just about cleanliness, but about comfort and care. It was a way to transition from the demands of the day to the restfulness of night. In some households, it might even have been a gesture of hospitality, offering a basin of water to a guest to wash their feet after a long journey. The limited nature of this washing ritual really made every drop of water count, you know? There was no waste, no excess, just a thoughtful application of this precious resource right where it was needed most. It paints a picture of a life where resources were scarce and every little comfort was truly cherished. Imagine how much more you'd appreciate a simple splash of water when it's all you had. As you wrap up your washing ritual, take a moment to soak in that feeling of cleanliness and renewal. Your face feels refreshed, your hands are clean, and your feet are soothed. You've probably used no more than a small bowl full of water, yet somehow you feel remarkably revitalized. It's such a powerful reminder that sometimes less can truly be more. Those small, focused acts of care, like washing your hands or splashing water on your face, can have a huge impact on how we feel. It's all about the little things, right? Embracing simplicity can lead to a deeper sense of well-being and contentment in our busy lives. This practice of targeted washing with a humble bowl and basin has been around for centuries, slowly evolving over time. Can you believe it? It was a constant in a world that was always changing. This daily ritual connected people across generations, reminding us that the basic human need for cleanliness and comfort has always been there, even if our methods have shifted dramatically. When we think about this medieval practice, it's pretty eye-opening to consider our own relationship with water and cleanliness today. In our modern world, where we have running water and daily showers, it's easy to overlook the value of those simple acts of washing. Just think about it. Taking a moment to splash your face or rinse your hands can feel so refreshing, right? Maybe there's something to learn from that focused, mindful approach to personal care. It's a gentle reminder to appreciate those small daily rituals that help us feel renewed and ready to take on the world. The humble bowl and basin, as simple as they might seem, were absolutely vital in medieval life. Can you believe that? They were the heart of daily hygiene rituals. People relied on them to keep themselves clean and comfortable in a world that often didn't have the luxuries we enjoy today. Imagine starting your day with a splash of cold water from a basin, such a refreshing way to wake up. It's fascinating to think about how these items represent a totally different mindset towards cleanliness, one that was intentional and in many ways more thoughtful. They didn't just wash their hands, they took pride in the whole process, making it a part of their daily routine. How cool is that? For example, folks would fill these bowls with water, taking time to wash their hands and faces, really focusing on their personal care. It's like they had their own little spa moment. This deliberate approach to hygiene shows just how important cleanliness was, even back then. So it's not just about a bowl and basin. It's about a way of life that prioritized well-being in a time when comfort was hard to come by. Isn't that just intriguing? As we close our eyes and drift towards sleep, let the gentle sounds of water splashing in a basin fill your mind imagine. The cool touch of water on your skin, the feeling of dirt and weariness being washed away. Let this ancient ritual of targeted washing, with its simplicity and mindfulness, guide you towards peaceful, restful slumber. Infused waters, rosemary, lavender, rose. Now, my friend, let us gently turn our attention to the subtle art of scent and soothing in medieval times. Imagine, if you will, a world where fragrance was not bottled and mass-produced, but carefully coaxed from nature's own bounty. The medieval approach to personal freshness was a delicate dance with the natural world, one that offered both cleanliness and comfort. Picture yourself in a small herb garden, the air heavy with the mingled scents of rosemary, lavender, and roses. These were not mere decorative plants, but the source of a medieval person's daily refreshment. As you run your fingers through the fragrant leaves, you can almost feel the essence of these plants seeping into your skin, offering a natural cleanse and a moment of sensory pleasure. The creation of infused waters was a common practice, one that bridged the gap between hygiene and aromatherapy. Imagine the process. Fresh herbs gently steeped in warm water, releasing their essential oils and beneficial properties. The resulting liquid was a multi-purpose wonder used for both cleansing and scenting. Rosemary water, with its invigorating aroma, might be splashed on the face and hands in the morning, awakening the senses and preparing one for the day ahead. The scent is sharp yet pleasant, clearing the mind and refreshing the spirit. As you pat your face dry, you can almost feel a subtle tingling, a reminder of the herb's natural astringent properties. Lavender water, by contrast, was often reserved for evening use. Its soothing, floral scent was believed to calm the mind and promote restful sleep. Picture yourself at the end of a long day, gently dabbing lavender water on your temples and wrists. The soft, sweet aroma rises, enveloping you in a cloud of tranquility. It's easy to see how this simple act could become a cherished nightly ritual, easing the transition from the bustle of the day to the quiet of night. Rosewater, perhaps the most versatile of these infusions, held a special place in medieval personal care. Its delicate fragrance was prized not only for its pleasing scent, but also for its perceived ability to cool and refresh the skin. Imagine the sensation of rose-scented droplets on your skin on a warm summer's day, providing a moment of cool relief and leaving behind the faintest whisper of floral perfume. These infused waters were more than just pleasant scents. Many of the herbs used had natural antiseptic or calming properties, offering a subtle but effective form of hygiene. The act of preparing these waters was itself a meditative practice. Picture the slow simmer of herbs in a small pot over the hearth, or jars of water left to steep in the warm sunshine. The gentle warmth, the rising steam, and the gradual release of natural perfumes created a sensory experience that was both cleansing and deeply relaxing. As we delve deeper into this aromatic world, let us consider the use of perfumed cloths. These small pieces of linen or silk, carefully steeped in fragrant waters, offered a portable means of refreshment. Imagine carrying such a cloth with you throughout the day, perhaps tucked into a sleeve or a small pouch. When needed, it could be used to gently wipe the face or hands, leaving behind a delicate, natural scent. This was not about masking odors, but about maintaining a subtle freshness, a gentle reminder of nature's cleansing power. And then there were pomanders, those small, often decorative objects that served as personal fragrance diffusers. Picture a small, intricately carved ball, perhaps made of precious metal for the wealthy or simple wood for the common folk. Inside, a carefully curated blend of dried herbs, spices, and aromatic resins would slowly release their scent. Cloves, cinnamon, and other spices were popular choices, offering a warm, comforting aroma. Imagine holding such a pomander in your hand, the warmth of your skin gently releasing its fragrance. Or picture it hanging in a room, a subtle source of pleasant scent that helped to freshen the air. For those who could afford it, pomanders might be worn as jewelry, a constant source of personal fragrance that spoke of refinement and care. These methods of scenting and soothing were all about creating a gentle, continuous freshness that wrapped around you like a cozy blanket. It wasn't just about smelling good. It was a thoughtful way to tap into nature's bounty, recognizing how scent could really lift your spirits and even boost your health. Those subtle fragrances that filled the air for medieval folks weren't merely there to mask any unpleasant odors. They believed that scents like lavender could calm anxiety, while citrus aromas might spark joy and energy. Every whiff was a little moment of joy, turning everyday life into a delightful experience. Imagine walking through a market, the air rich with the smell of fresh herbs and flowers, each breath a reminder of nature's magic. It's pretty amazing how something as simple as scent can connect us to the world around us, right? Now think about how different their understanding of hygiene was compared to ours today. Back then, they didn't have the same products we do, but they found beauty and comfort in natural scents and soothing waters. This holistic approach to personal care was something special, really connecting them to the world around them. Plants weren't just decoration. They were healing allies, ready to cleanse and comfort at a moment's notice. Imagine ending your day with a refreshing ritual, washing your face with cool, rose-scented water, feeling it invigorate your skin. Then you dab a bit of lavender water on your pulse points, letting its calming scent wash over you. As you snuggle into bed, picture placing a small sachet of dried herbs, maybe chamomile or mint, near your pillow. The gentle aroma helps ease you into a peaceful sleep, creating a lovely rhythm of care that was a part of everyday life back then. These simple, heartfelt acts were more than just routines. They were cherished moments that brought comfort and connection to the natural world. Herbs and infused waters weren't just for pampering yourself. They played a huge role in cooking and medicine too. Imagine walking into a kitchen filled with the fresh aroma of basil, rosemary, and mint. These plants weren't just there to smell good. They were essential for keeping the whole household healthy. For example, chamomile tea could soothe a sore stomach, while garlic was a go-to for boosting immunity. So, those herb gardens? They were like the ultimate multitaskers, blending health, hygiene, and everyday life into one vibrant package. It's pretty amazing how these little plants contributed to overall well-being, right? Reflecting on these practices, it's like you can almost feel a soft lavender-scented cloth brushing against your skin, right? Or picture the cozy, spicy warmth of a pomander wafting through the air. These sensory delights were more than just luxuries. They were little pockets of joy in medieval life. Imagine taking a break from the hustle and bustle, savoring the calming scents that brought a sense of peace in a world that could often feel pretty tough and demanding. They provided a refreshing escape, reminding folks that even in challenging times, it was okay to indulge in simple pleasures. It's fascinating how something as small as a fragrant cloth or a sweet-smelling pomander could transform a moment and lift spirits. The medieval way of thinking about scent and soothing really brings to light the magic of simple, natural remedies. Imagine a time when there were no synthetic fragrances or mass-produced toiletries. People relied on the plants and herbs, right in their backyards. Lavender for calming, rosemary for clarity, and chamomile for relaxation were all part of daily life. This connection to nature wasn't just about smelling good. It was about feeling good, too. Cleanliness back then wasn't just physical. It was a whole vibe that recognized how being clean can lift your spirits and boost your mental health. It's pretty fascinating how those old school practices remind us that sometimes the best solutions are the simplest ones, right? As we wrap up this journey into the amazing world of herbs and waters, it's hard not to feel a little more connected to these ancient practices, right? Just think about it. Brewing a calming herbal tea or creating a soothing sachet filled with lavender can really transform your day. Imagine sipping on a warm cup of chamomile after a long day, letting the stress melt away. It's those simple moments that can bring us peace and refreshment, reminding us of nature's incredible gifts. So why not sprinkle a bit of this magic into our daily lives? It's all about finding those little joys, you know? Social cleansing, warmth and shared space. Now let us turn our attention to a truly fascinating aspect of medieval hygiene. My friend, the public bathhouse. Imagine, if you will, a time when bathing was not a solitary act behind closed doors, but a vibrant, communal ritual offering both cleanliness and social connection. Imagine yourself wandering through a lively medieval town where the air is filled with all sorts of scents, from freshly baked bread to the earthy aroma of the marketplace. As you stroll along, you catch sight of the local bathhouse, steam curling up from its entrance like a warm invitation. Stepping inside, you're instantly wrapped in a cozy embrace of warmth and humidity, with the delightful scent of warm water mingling with hints of fragrant herbs like lavender or rosemary. In the spacious, steamy room ahead, life buzzes around you. Wooden benches hug the walls and large tubs filled with inviting warm water call out to tired bodies craving relaxation. You can hear the soft murmur of voices, people chatting and laughing, sharing the latest news or juicy gossip. The atmosphere is all about comfort and camaraderie, where folks come together not just to wash away the day's grime, but to connect and unwind. It's truly a vibrant slice of life. As you settle into the warmth, you begin to understand that this is more than just a place to get clean. It's a social occasion, a place where the community comes together to wash away not just the dirt of the day, but also their worries and cares, the regular. Communal bathing was a vital part of medieval hygiene, offering a thorough cleansing that was often infrequent in individual homes. Imagine the soothing sensation of warm water against your skin, right? The steam gently opens your pores, cleansing you deeply. Maybe you decide to sink into one of those large tubs, letting the warmth seep into your muscles, easing the aches from a long day of labor. Or perhaps you prefer to wash yourself with buckets of warm water, scrubbing away the grime of the day. There's something so refreshing about it, don't you think? As you relax, you might catch snippets of conversation floating around you. A farmer chatting about the unpredictable weather with a merchant, or a lively group of women sharing their favorite recipes and household tips. It's amazing how the bathhouse serves as this great equalizer, where folks from all walks of life come together to mingle and connect, breaking down social barriers in the process. But this experience is about so much more than just getting physically clean. It's a chance to rejuvenate both body and spirit. The warmth of the water, the soothing steam, and the gentle murmur of voices create this deeply relaxing environment that offers a much-needed escape from the often harsh realities of medieval life. It's like a mini vacation for the soul, you know? But as we linger in the comforting steam of the bathhouse, my friend, we must also acknowledge that this cherished institution would not remain a constant fixture in medieval life over time. The prevalence of public bathhouses, and consequently their regular use, experienced a significant decline particularly in Europe. Imagine the slow fade of those cozy communal spaces that used to be the heartbeat of our daily lives. Remember when public baths were the go-to for relaxation and cleanliness? It was like a social hub where people would unwind and connect. But over time, things changed, right? With the rise of private bathrooms and a fast-paced lifestyle, these communal spots became less common. It's a bummer, really, because they offered a sense of community that we just don't get anymore. Plus, think about how great it felt to soak in warm water, surrounded by friends, sharing stories and laughter. Those moments are pretty rare these days, don't you think? Changing attitudes towards religion really shifted how people viewed public nudity and mixed bathing. What was once a fun and accepted practice became a bit of a taboo, right? I mean, during plague times, folks were super worried about catching diseases. Even if they didn't fully get how germs worked, that fear kept many away from those communal spaces. It's wild to think about how something so natural turned into something people shied away from. As societies evolved, so did their views on public bathing, right? Those lively bathhouses, once bustling with laughter and chatter, started closing down one by one. Can you imagine? They were more than just places to get clean. They were community hubs where friendships blossomed. Now those vibrant spaces are just memories, echoing with the sounds of a time when cleanliness and connection went hand in hand. It's a real shame to think about what we've lost. The decline of public bathhouses really changed the game when it came to hygiene in medieval times. You know, people back then didn't have the same standards we do today, so later generations looked back and thought, yikes, how could they live like that? With fewer places to soak in warm water, folks had to get creative with their daily routines. Imagine relying on just a quick scrub at home instead of a nice, relaxing bath. It's wild to think about how much we take those simple pleasures for granted now, right? So while they made do with dry cleansing and targeted washing, it definitely wasn't the same as a good soak. It's fascinating how something as basic as bathing can tell us so much about a culture. Imagine how different daily life would be without those communal baths. It's not just about having a place to get squeaky clean. It's also about connecting with friends and unwinding after a long day. These bathing rituals were a big deal, right? They created a sense of community, a chance to chat and share stories while soaking in warm water. Without that, people might have missed out on those relaxing moments and the deep connection to self-care. Think about it. How would your relationship with relaxation change if you didn't have that special spot to chill out and refresh? It's pretty wild to consider. As the steam of the bathhouses dissipated from medieval life, so too did a significant source of comprehensive cleanliness and profound relaxation. It's important to remember, my friend, that this change was not due to a lack of desire for cleanliness, but rather a result of shifting societal norms and circumstances. The fading of this page in the story of medieval hygiene highlights how societal changes often dictated the methods available for maintaining cleanliness. It serves as a reminder that our understanding of history must always consider the context of the time and the ever-changing nature of cultural practices. As we step away from the cozy vibe of the public bathhouse, let's dive into what medieval folks wore right against their skin. Can you imagine the layers they had? Their clothing wasn't just about style. It was a clever way to stay clean and comfy. For instance, they often wore linen undergarments because linen was breathable and helped wick away moisture. Pretty smart, right? This was all part of their game plan for cleanliness, showing that even back then, they understood the importance of feeling fresh and clean. Imagine the layers of clothing worn by a medieval person, each serving a purpose, not just for modesty and warmth, but also for hygiene. The innermost layer, often made of linen, was prized for its ability to absorb sweat and oils from the skin, acting as a barrier between the body and outer garments. This linen undergarment, known as a chemise for women or a shirt for men, was changed and washed. More frequently than outer clothing, it served as a kind of portable bath, absorbing the body's impurities throughout the day and helping to keep the wearer feeling fresh. Picture the careful layering of clothing, each piece chosen not just for its appearance, but for its practical benefits in maintaining cleanliness. Woolen outer garments, while less frequently washed, had their own cleansing properties. The natural lanolin and wool helped to repel dirt and moisture. As we explore the clothing worn by medieval people, we begin to understand that their approach to hygiene was more sophisticated than we might have imagined. They may not have had daily baths as we know them today, but they had developed clever ways to stay clean and fresh using the materials available to them. The choice of fabrics, the layering of garments, and the frequency of changing certain items all played a role in their daily hygiene routines. It was a different approach to cleanliness, one that was adapted to their specific needs and circumstances. As we delve deeper into the secrets held within medieval clothing, we uncover a world of ingenuity and practicality. Their garments were not just coverings, but tools for maintaining cleanliness in a world where modern conveniences were unknown. So, my friend, as we step away from the cozy steam of the public bathhouse and wrap ourselves in the layers of medieval clothing, we're diving deeper into the intriguing world of medieval hygiene. Each page we turn reveals such cool insights into how our ancestors lived and took care of themselves, sometimes in ways that feel super relatable, and other times, well, a bit odd. Think about it. They didn't have the same conveniences we do today, yet they found clever ways to stay fresh and clean. Let's carry these eye-opening insights with us as we move forward in our exploration. The past is like a treasure chest filled with lessons and surprises, just waiting for us to dig in and really understand the lives lived long ago. Isn't that just fascinating? Linen linings, the first layer against skin. Now let us turn our attention to the clothes they wore, my friend. A fascinating chapter in the story of medieval life unfolds before us as we explore the clever system of layering and the crucial role of linen. Imagine for a moment the gentle touch of linen against your skin. Pretty nice, right? Back in medieval times, people had a clever solution to tackle the challenges of staying clean. The first layer they wore was this simple yet brilliant garment called a shift, or undershirt. It wasn't just any piece of clothing. It acted like a protective barrier, keeping the outer layers fresh and clean from the body's natural processes. You know, it's fascinating to think how something so basic played such a vital role in daily life back then. This linen piece was essential, almost like a secret weapon against the grime of the day. Can you picture it? Close your eyes for a second and picture this, the smooth, cool texture of a linen shift gliding beneath your fingers. It feels so different from those rougher outer garments, right? That's not just a coincidence. The sleekness of linen was actually a clever way to keep those pesky little unwelcome guests like fleas and lice at bay. They just have a harder time clinging on compared to the coarser fibers of wool. So not only does it feel great against your skin, but it's also a smart choice for staying comfy and clean. Imagine wearing something that not only looks good, but also keeps you feeling fresh. Pretty neat, huh? Imagine winding down after a long day in medieval times. You're probably feeling pretty worn out, right? So you carefully peel off those linen undergarments. These lighter, easier to manage pieces were made for frequent washing, unlike those heavy outer garments that felt like a chore to clean. Just think about it. Those linen shifts could be boiled, scrubbed with lye soap, and hung out to dry in the fresh air and sunlight. Can you picture that moment of slipping into a freshly washed, sun-dried linen shift? It must have felt absolutely amazing against the skin, like a little hug of cleanliness and refreshment. Even if the outer clothes had seen better days, that inner layer gave a sense of renewal. This clever system really helped medieval folks keep up with their personal hygiene, even when times were tough. Can you believe that? The linen layer wasn't just about comfort. It played a crucial role in soaking up sweat, body oils, and those pesky shedding skin cells. So the bulkier, harder to clean outer layers stayed a bit cleaner. How practical is that, right? Imagine living in a time when water was a luxury and washing those big, heavy garments felt like scaling a mountain. Seriously, can you picture that? Focusing on cleaning just the innermost layer was such a clever move. It's wild to think about how they managed to keep things surprisingly clean back then, right? They had to get creative. People often used vinegar and ash for washing, which is kinda impressive. And let's not forget about the communal baths. Those were like social hubs. It's fascinating how they found ways to stay fresh in such tough conditions. Makes you appreciate modern conveniences, doesn't it? As we dig deeper into this aspect of medieval life, we start to see that cleanliness wasn't just about washing every single piece of clothing every day. It was all about smartly managing those layers closest to the body. This efficient use of materials and the careful laundering of inner garments was a vital secret to their comfort and cleanliness. It's kind of inspiring, really, how they adapted to their circumstances and found clever ways to stay fresh. What do you think? Isn't it amazing how resourceful people can be? Imagine a medieval laundry day, right? Picture this. The air is thick with the scent of lye soap, and you can hear the rhythmic sound of fabric being scrubbed against washboards. Women would gather by rivers or in communal washing areas, their hands red and raw from the cold water and the rough soap. It was a tough gig, but they were all in it together, sharing stories and laughter as they worked. The satisfaction of seeing clean linen and fresh undergarments at the end of the day made it all worthwhile. You know that feeling of putting on something fresh and clean? It's like a little reset for the day. Just think about how much effort went into that simple pleasure back then. It was more than just laundry. It was a community event, a way to connect with one another while tackling the mundane. How amazing is that? Picture this. The outer layers of clothing back in the day were pretty hefty. We're talking about those thick wool garments, or if you were on the wealthier side, maybe some luxurious silk or velvet. These pieces didn't get washed all that often, you know. But here's the kicker. They had a linen layer underneath that kept things cleaner for longer. When it finally came time for a wash, it was no simple task. Cleaning those garments usually meant calling in the pros like fullers, who really knew how to handle those delicate fabrics. It was a whole production just to keep those fancy clothes looking sharp. As we continue our journey through medieval hygiene practices, we come to understand that cleanliness was not just about removing dirt. It was about creating a sense of well-being that could easily lead to restful sleep, the soft rustle of clean linen against the skin would have been a comforting sound as one settled into bed for the night. Let's not overlook how practical this whole system really is. Think about those who had to wear heavy wool or pricey outer garments that were a hassle to clean absolutely needed linen linings. They acted like a shield, protecting those fancy clothes from dirt and wear. It's like having a secret weapon for your wardrobe, right? By keeping the outer garments looking fresh and new, these linings helped extend their lifespan. Imagine rocking a beautiful wool coat that stays pristine longer just because of a simple lining. It's all about keeping that style intact while making life a little easier. Think about the rhythm of medieval life. The changing of undergarments would have been a regular part of their routine, a small act of self-care in a world that could often be harsh and unforgiving. It's a reminder that even in times we might consider primitive, people found ways to care for themselves and maintain a sense of dignity. As we ponder this clever use of layering and linen, we begin to see how it reflects the ingenuity and adaptability of medieval people. They worked with the materials available to them, creating systems that were both practical and effective. It's a testament to human creativity and problem-solving skills. Now let your mind drift to the process of making linen. The cultivation of flax, the harvesting, the processing of the fibers. Each step was labor-intensive, but the result was a material that played a crucial role in daily life. It wasn't just about clothing. Linen was used for bedding, tablecloths, and even bandages. Its versatility made it an invaluable resource. Can you just imagine those stunning fields of blue flax flowers dancing in the breeze? It's like nature's own little ballet, right? And guess what? That same plant is what gives us the soft linen that feels so nice against your skin. It's such a beautiful reminder of how closely connected we are to the natural world and how it meets our everyday needs. Back in medieval times, this connection was super real, and essential people relied on these plants for clothing and textiles. It's fascinating to think about how something so simple can hold so much significance in our lives. As we near the end of this chapter in our exploration of medieval life, we can reflect on how this system of layering and the use of linen contributed to overall health and well-being. Clean undergarments might seem like a small thing, but in a world without modern medicine, maintaining cleanliness was a crucial defense against illness. The clever use of linen and layering teaches us about efficiency and adaptation. It reminds us that solutions to everyday problems don't always have to be complex. Sometimes the simplest ideas can have the most profound impact. This page in their Book of Cleanliness offers U.S. valuable insights into how our ancestors navigated the challenges of their world. As the soft rustle of linen fades from our minds, we step into another intriguing part of medieval life. Here come the earth's own cleaners, ash and clay. These natural wonders are like a peek into how our ancestors tackled the whole cleanliness issue back in the day. Can you believe they used simple materials to scrub away dirt? It's pretty amazing when you think about it. But let's take a moment to appreciate the comfort of linen too. It's not just about being clean. It's about the creativity and resourcefulness of those who lived before us. Their innovations were truly something special. Natural soaps, live from ash. My friend, let us now turn our attention to the Earth's own cleaners, ash and clay. Imagine a time when effective cleaning agents were not manufactured in factories but derived directly from nature for cleansing. Medieval people often relied on natural soaps, primarily derived from lye, obtained from ash picture. The processed wood ash, a readily available byproduct of their fires, would be steeped in water. This created a strong alkaline solution or lye when combined with animal fats, which were also readily available. This lye could be used to create a simple yet effective soap. Think about the texture of this primitive soap. It's probably a bit rough, right? Not all soft and foamy like the stuff we use today, but trust me, it was super effective at breaking down grease and grime. People used it for everything washing clothes, cleaning surfaces, and even in diluted forms for personal washing. It's amazing how they took everyday materials and turned them into powerful cleaners. This really shows their resourcefulness. Cleanliness wasn't some luxury. It was all about knowing how to use the earth's simple elements. It's like they were little alchemists making magic happen with what they had. Imagine the scene, a medieval household, where the hearth fire burns low in the evening. The ashes carefully collected, not discarded, but valued for their cleansing power. The process of making lye was a slow one, requiring patience and understanding of natural cycles. Water would be poured through the ashes, collected in a vessel below the resulting liquid. Potent and caustic was the foundation of their cleaning rituals. Now, let us consider the feel of this soap. In use, perhaps you're a medieval laundress, your hands submerged in a wooden tub, the water cloudy with lye soap, the fabric rough against your skin as you work it clean. The scent is sharp, astringent, nothing like the perfumed soaps we know today, but it carries the promise of cleanliness, of renewal. Beyond lye, medieval people also utilized the power of fuller's earth and various clays for their absorbent and purifying properties. Imagine a fine, natural powder, perhaps gray or pale brown, known for its ability to draw out oils and impurities. Fuller's earth, a type of absorbent clay, was particularly valued for cleaning wool, but it and other forms of clay could also be used for personal care. Picture a warm summer day in a medieval village. A group of women gathered by a stream, their woolen garments laid out on the banks. They sprinkle fuller's earth over the fabric, working it in with their hands. The clay absorbs the oils and dirt, leaving the wool fresher and cleaner, without the need for harsh washing that might damage the fibers. This use of earth's natural absorbents was not just practical, but a connection to the very ground beneath their feet. Now imagine a paste made from clay and water gently applied to the skin or hair. It would absorb excess oils, dirt, and even some odors after drying. It could be simply rinsed off, leaving the skin and hair feeling refreshed and clean without the need for harsh detergents. This method was especially useful for hair, offering a kind of dry shampoo effect. Before the concept existed, it allowed them to manage oiliness and maintain freshness without frequent wet washing, which could be cumbersome. Consider the experience of using such a clay treatment. Perhaps you're a young woman preparing for a special occasion. You mix the clay with water, creating a smooth paste. You apply it to your hair, working it through with your fingers as it dries. You feel it tightening, drawing out impurities. When you rinse it away, your hair feels lighter, cleaner, a simple yet effective ritual connecting you to the earth itself. The way people relied on natural absorbent materials really shows how deeply connected they were to their environment, right? These natural cleaners weren't just handy. They were a game changer for hygiene, providing a gentle yet effective way to purify. Think about it. Ash and clay weren't just for keeping things clean. They were all about finding balance with nature. It's like they understood that by using what the earth offers, they could live in harmony with the world around them. Isn't that such a beautiful way to approach well-being? Imagine the incredible knowledge that was passed down through generations. Think about it. The careful observations made by our ancestors on which plants, when burned, produced the best ash for lye, or which clays worked wonders for different tasks. This wasn't just about cleaning. It was like a form of alchemy, turning simple elements into powerful tools for everyday life. They had this deep understanding of their environment, a practical wisdom that honestly feels so refreshing compared to our world of synthetic products. Wouldn't it be amazing to tap into that kind of knowledge today? It really makes you think about how much we've lost in our fast-paced lives, right? When we think about these natural cleansers, it's pretty fascinating to reflect on the rhythm of medieval life. Everything moved at a different pace back then, right? Making lye soap wasn't just a quick chore. It took time and a whole lot of patience. Imagine gathering all those materials, lye, fats, and maybe some herbs and prepping them with such care. It was a process that demanded attention and respect for nature. This slower lifestyle allowed folks to really connect with the natural cycles around them, making each task feel meaningful. Can you picture that kind of dedication in our fast-paced world today? Imagine stepping into a medieval household where soap making wasn't just a chore, but a seasonal ritual. Picture the hustle and bustle as family members gather ash from the fireplace, rendering fats from their livestock and carefully mixing everything together. It's not just about whipping up a cleaning product. It's about connecting with the earth and honoring the wisdom passed down through generations. Each batch of soap carries stories and traditions, making it a meaningful part of their lives. Can you feel that sense of community and heritage? It's pretty amazing, right? Imagine diving into the world of natural cleansers, where the scents are nothing like those overpowering artificial fragrances we often encounter. Instead, think about the earthy tones of ash and clay, maybe even blended with fresh herbs or delicate flowers. These aromas would be gentle, natural reminders of the beauty surrounding us. Can you picture it? The scent of wood gathered from the forest, mingling with the freshness of clay dug straight from the earth. It's like a little piece of nature in every whiff, bringing a sense of calm and connection to the environment. Doesn't that sound refreshing? Diving into the world of natural cleansers is like discovering a whole new vibe of cleanliness, right? It's all about embracing what nature offers us, steering clear of those harsh chemicals and complicated processes. Imagine using ingredients like baking soda or vinegar simple stuff you probably already have at home. This approach is all about syncing up with the environment, where the solutions to our everyday messes are literally right under our feet. It's refreshing to think that we can achieve a clean space while being kind to Mother Earth, don't you think? This whole idea of relying on ash and clay really dives deep into how people in medieval times viewed the world. They didn't see themselves as separate from nature. Instead, they felt totally connected to it, you know? Imagine living in a time when the answers to life's big questions weren't about overpowering nature, but rather about figuring out how to work alongside it. It's kind of beautiful, right? This mindset could actually give us some fresh perspectives as we tackle our own environmental issues today. For example, think about sustainable farming practices that honor the earth rather than exploit it. It's a reminder that maybe, just maybe, understanding and collaborating with nature is the key to solving our challenges. As the subtle scent of those earthy cleaners starts to fade, let's dive into something really interesting. What was missing from daily hygiene routines back in the day? Think about it. Modern practices like overwashing our skin can actually strip away its natural balance. Instead of that daily scrub, they embraced a more gentle approach, allowing their skin to breathe and thrive. This could have meant fewer breakouts and healthier looking skin overall. Join me next as we explore how this absence of overwashing might just be the secret to that timeless glow. What do you think? No daily stripping. Respecting natural oils. My friend, as we continue our gentle journey through medieval hygiene, let us now turn our attention to a most intriguing aspect, the absence of overwashing, and how this allowed the skin's natural balance to thrive. Imagine, if you will, a time when stripping the skin of its natural oils daily was not a common practice. In today's world, we're all about that daily shower or bath, right? We often reach for those strong soaps that scrub away every last drop of our skin's natural oils. It feels great to be squeaky clean, but here's the kicker. It can mess with our skin's natural protective barrier. Back in medieval times, though, things were totally different. Daily full body washes? Not a thing. People just didn't see the need for it. They weren't stripping their skin of its natural oils every day, which might actually have helped them maintain healthier skin. It's wild to think about how our ideas of cleanliness have changed over the centuries. Imagine a world where our skin gets to keep its natural oils and microbiome intact. These natural secretions are like a superhero shield, keeping our skin moisturized and protecting it from all those nasty environmental aggressors out there. You know, things like pollution and dirt. By washing less frequently and using gentler cleaning methods, people can actually maintain that perfect balance their skin craves. This approach can lead to stronger, more resilient skin that's less likely to dry out, get irritated, or become sensitive. It's like an unintentional skincare routine that honors what our bodies naturally do best. Think about it. When we stop over scrubbing and over cleansing, we allow our skin to thrive. Isn't that just fascinating? You know, it's pretty fascinating to think about how a more natural approach to skincare back in the day might have led to healthier, more resilient skin. Imagine people not constantly exposing their skin to hot water, harsh detergents, and that relentless scrubbing we often do today. Their skin could maintain its natural balance, right? Now, let's talk about some common skin complaints we face nowadays, like dryness, eczema, and sensitivity. Many of these issues can get worse with overwashing and using those strong chemicals packed into modern products. But for folks in medieval times, these problems might have been less of a concern, simply because their skin was allowed to function more naturally. Their body's protective layers, natural oils, and beneficial bacteria would have been left intact and undisturbed, creating a healthier environment for their skin. Isn't that something to think about? This page in their book of cleanliness really opens up a fascinating idea. Sometimes doing less can actually be more. You know how we often feel pressured to scrub every inch of our bodies daily? Well, it turns out that their chill approach, skipping the daily full body deep clean, might just lead to healthier, more resilient skin. By not stressing over constant cleansing rituals, they've probably created a vibe that's all about comfort and ease. This laid back attitude can totally help you unwind and get better sleep. Imagine waking up feeling refreshed and ready to take on the day. It's all about finding that balance, right? Let's dive into another essential aspect of personal care. How did they keep their mouths clean and fresh? This part of their hygiene routine is super important, right? I mean, who doesn't love that fresh feeling after a good rinse? So they really focused on oral care, using techniques like chewing on herbs or rinsing with natural solutions. It's fascinating how they understood the importance of a healthy mouth, and it definitely played a big role in their overall cleanliness. Join me next as we explore the art of chewing and rinsing and discover some cool tips that we can still use today. Imagine, if you will, the medieval approach to oral hygiene. They didn't have our fancy toothbrushes or that minty fresh toothpaste we love today, but they definitely had their own quirky methods to keep their teeth clean. Picture this: people using twigs or even rags to scrub their teeth. Can you believe it? Some folks even used herbs like sage or mint to freshen their breath. It's wild to think about how they made do with what they had, right? And let's not forget that dental care was often a community affair, with friends and family helping each other out. So while we might cringe at their techniques, it's pretty fascinating how they tackled oral hygiene in their own unique way. Some folks even rinsed their mouths with vinegar or salt water to freshen their breath. It's fascinating to think about how they managed to maintain their oral health with such simple tools. As we dive deeper into this journey through medieval cleanliness, let's appreciate their creativity and resourcefulness. It's kind of amazing, right? Imagine living in the 14th century, right? No fancy dental tools, no electric toothbrushes, just nature to the rescue. People back then had some pretty interesting ways to keep their smiles bright. Picture this: someone chewing on a small twig or root from a birch or marshmallow plant. These little wonders, called chew sticks, were their version of a toothbrush. The fibrous texture worked like magic to scrub away food bits and plaque, while the natural oils gave a nice, refreshing taste and even had some antibacterial kick. Can you believe it? So next time you're brushing your teeth, think about how far we've come from those simple yet effective natural solutions. Imagine the sensation of these natural tools against your teeth and gums. You know, that slightly rough texture? It's like a gentle massage for your mouth. As you chew, subtle flavors burst forth, bringing a whole new experience. It's such a refreshing change from our modern minty pastes, which can feel so artificial, right? These natural alternatives really serve their purpose in a kind and gentle way, promoting oral health while connecting us to nature. It's like each bite tells a story, reminding us of simpler times when oral care was about the experience, not just the flavor. How cool is that? Imagine how these practices seamlessly blended into their daily lives, right? Picture this: a quick chew and rinse in the morning or right after meals. It's such a simple yet effective way to take care of your teeth. It's like they were in sync with nature, using what was available around them. Think about it: fresh herbs, maybe a bit of salt water, just natural stuff to keep their smiles bright and healthy. It's really fascinating how they made oral care part of their routine without all the fancy products we have today. How cool is that? As we reflect on these oral care practices, we can see how they align with the overall medieval approach to hygiene. It was a method that respected the body's natural processes while gently supporting cleanliness and health. This approach to oral care, like their skin care practices, likely contributed to a sense of physical well-being, preparing the body for restful sleep. Now, let us turn our attention to another aspect of medieval hygiene, one that might seem quite foreign to our modern sensibilities. The concept of dry cleaning clothes. Imagine a world where water was not always readily available, and where the process of washing and drying clothes was a laborious task. In such a world, alternative methods of cleaning became necessary. Picture, if you will, a medieval household on laundry day, but instead of the hum of a washing machine, you hear the rhythmic beating of clothes. Clothes would be hung out and beaten with sticks or paddles to remove dust and loose dirt. This method, while simple, was surprisingly effective at refreshing garments without the need for water. For those really stubborn stains or funky odors, medieval folks had some pretty interesting dry cleaning tricks up their sleeves. Can you picture this? They'd actually rub their clothes with clean sand or something called fuller's earth, which is a type of clay. These materials acted like little scrubbers, soaking up oils and lifting dirt right out of the fabric. After that, they'd give the garment a good shake or even a solid beating to get rid of the cleaning stuff. It's wild to think about how they managed to leave their clothes feeling refreshed and cleaner without any fancy detergents. It's like a DIY cleaning hack from way back when, right? In some cases, clothes might be fumigated with aromatic smoke. Imagine hanging clothes over a fire of fragrant herbs or woods. The smoke would not only impart a pleasant scent, but also had some antibacterial properties, helping to freshen and cleanse the garments. These dry cleaning methods, while perhaps seeming primitive to our modern eyes, were ingenious solutions to the challenges of their time. They allowed for regular cleaning of clothes without the need for large amounts of water or the time-consuming process of washing and drying. As we consider these practices, we can appreciate the resourcefulness of our medieval ancestors. They found ways to maintain cleanliness and hygiene even in the face of limited resources. Their methods, while different from ours, were well suited to their needs and lifestyle. This approach to clothing care, like their skin and oral care practices, was part of a larger philosophy of hygiene, one that worked in harmony with the natural world and respected the body's own processes. It was a gentle, sustainable approach to cleanliness, one that prepared the body and mind for restful sleep. As we near the end of our exploration of medieval hygiene, let us take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. We've seen how their approach to cleanliness, while different from our own, was not without its merits, from the natural balance of their skin care to the ingenious methods of dry cleaning clothes. They found ways to maintain hygiene that were well suited to their time and resources. In our modern world, with our daily showers, strong soaps, and high-tech washing machines, we might be tempted to view medieval hygiene practices as primitive or insufficient. Yet, as we've seen, there was a certain wisdom in their approach, a respect for the body's natural processes, and a harmony with the world around them that we might do well to consider. Perhaps in our quest for extreme cleanliness, we've lost touch with some of these natural rhythms. Maybe there's something to be learned from the medieval approach to hygiene, not necessarily to adopt their practices wholesale, but to consider a more balanced approach, one that respects our body's natural functions and works in harmony with them. As we prepare for sleep, let these thoughts gently wash over you. Imagine a world where cleanliness is achieved, not through harsh chemicals and constant washing, but through gentle natural methods. A world where your skin is allowed to maintain its natural balance, where your clothes are refreshed without the need for water, where oral care comes from the plants around you. Let the wisdom of our ancestors gently guide you into a peaceful, restful state as you drift off to sleep. Think about how you can weave this soothing, natural approach to hygiene into your daily routine. It might be as simple as cutting back on those harsh soaps that can strip your skin or trying out some natural alternatives. Ever thought about using coconut oil for moisturizing or baking soda for cleaning? These little changes can make a big difference, not just for you, but for the planet too. So why not give it a shot? You might just find a routine that feels a whole lot better. Whatever path you choose, let's take a moment to appreciate those medieval hygiene practices. They remind us that sometimes less really is more. Our bodies have this amazing innate wisdom, right? When we work in harmony with nature, like soaking in a warm bath or using herbal remedies, it can totally lead to a sense of balance and well-being. This connection is what helps us unwind and prepares us for that deep, restful sleep we all crave. So maybe we should embrace a simpler approach to self-care, just like they did back then. Herbal chewing sticks and mouth rinses. My friend, let us now turn our attention to a fascinating aspect of medieval hygiene, the care of one's mouth and teeth. Imagine a world without toothbrushes or toothpaste, where people relied on nature's own remedies to maintain oral freshness. Picture yourself in a small medieval village. The sun has just risen and you're preparing for another day of work. Before you begin, you reach for a small twig from a nearby tree. This is no ordinary twig, but a chewing stick carefully selected for its natural properties. You begin to gently chew on one end, feeling the fibers separate and form a makeshift brush. The taste is slightly bitter, but not unpleasant as you work it around your mouth. As you chew, you can feel the stick's natural fibers cleaning your teeth and massaging your gums. Sensation is far different from the vigorous scrubbing we're accustomed to today, but there's a certain satisfaction in this simple act. Perhaps you're using a twig from a neem tree known for its antiseptic qualities, or maybe it's from a licorice plant prized for its sweet flavor and breath-freshening abilities. Now imagine reaching for a small clay cup filled with a fragrant liquid. This is your mouth rinse, but it's not the harsh mint flavor we know today. Instead, it's water infused with herbs from your garden or the nearby woods. You take a sip, swishing it around your mouth. The taste of mint, sage, or rosemary fills your senses, providing a refreshing sensation. These herbs, chosen for their natural antibacterial properties, help to cleanse your mouth and leave your breath feeling fresh. This routine, while different from our modern practices, served a similar purpose. It wasn't about preventing cavities as we understand it today, but about maintaining a basic level of cleanliness, alleviating discomfort, and improving breath. The goal was comfort and freshness rather than the clinical cleanliness we strive for now. As you go about your day, imagine the lingering taste of herbs in your mouth, a subtle reminder of your morning routine. Perhaps you carry a few chewing sticks with you to freshen your breath throughout the day. There's no constant worry about plaque buildup or the need for a perfect smile. Instead, there's a simple satisfaction in the natural cleansing process. Now let's consider how this approach to oral care differed from our modern routines. The focus was primarily on freshness, not deep cleaning. There was no concept of fighting bacteria or preventing tooth decay as we understand it today. Instead, the goal was to maintain a pleasant feeling in the mouth and to address any immediate discomfort. Imagine the feeling of your mouth after using these natural methods. It's not the squeaky clean sensation we associate with modern toothpaste, but a subtle freshness, a gentle cleansing that feels in harmony with nature. This approach, while less scientifically advanced, provided a sense of well-being and comfort that suited the medieval mindset. Of course, we must acknowledge that dental health in medieval times was far from perfect. Tooth decay and loss were common problems, but their daily oral care routine wasn't driven by fear or anxiety about these issues. It was simply part of their overall approach to cleanliness and comfort. Consider how this might have affected their mental state. There was no obsession with having a perfect smile, no anxiety about twice daily brushing and flossing. The simple act of chewing a stick or rinsing with herb-infused water was enough to satisfy their need for oral hygiene. This more relaxed approach, free from the pressures of modern dental standards, allowed for a smoother transition into restful sleep at night. As we delve deeper into this medieval practice, let's explore some of the specific herbs and plants they might have used. Sage, for instance, was highly valued for its antibacterial properties. Imagine the earthy, slightly peppery taste as you chew on a sage leaf or swish a sage-infused rinse around your mouth. Mint, of course, was another favorite, providing a cool, refreshing sensation that we still associate with oral care today. But there were other less familiar options too. Imagine using a twig from a dogwood tree, its bark containing compounds that naturally whiten teeth. Or perhaps you might chew on a piece of mastic, gum derived from the resin of the mastic tree, known for its ability to reduce plaque. These natural remedies, while perhaps not as effective as modern toothpaste, provided a diverse array of options for maintaining oral health. It's super interesting to think about how these methods for oral care were pretty common, but definitely not everywhere. The plants and herbs folks had access to really depended on where they lived and what time of year it was. Just picture this. As the seasons changed, so did people's mouth care routines. In spring, maybe they'd grab fresh mint for that refreshing kick, while in winter, they might rely on dried herbs. This deep connection to nature wasn't just a quirky detail. It was a big part of everyday life back in medieval times, even influencing something as simple as how they took care of their smiles. Isn't that fascinating? When we dive into how medieval folks approached oral hygiene, it's pretty fascinating to see how it fits into their broader views on cleanliness. Unlike us, who are all about zapping every germ in sight, they had a more balanced perspective. They weren't just trying to scrub everything clean. They aimed for a nice, pleasant state of being. For them, it was about keeping things fresh and comfortable without going overboard. They used simple tools like cloths and herbal rinses, which not only helped their breath, but also connected them to nature. So it's really interesting to think about how their ideas of cleanliness were more about harmony than just being sterile, right? This holistic vibe around hygiene really shines through in their oral care routines. They leaned into natural materials like bamboo toothbrushes and herbal pastes, which totally matched their philosophy of working with nature, right? Instead of fighting against it, they embraced it. There was this cool acceptance of how our bodies naturally are and they focused on gentle methods to keep things fresh and comfy. It's all about that balance. As we wrap up our deep dive into medieval oral care, let's take a moment to really think about what we can learn from these ancient practices. Sure, modern dental science is a game changer, but there's something pretty special about the simplicity and natural vibes of those old school methods, right? For instance, people used to clean their teeth with twigs or herbs. How cool is that? Maybe we can blend some of these gentle, natural techniques into our daily routines. Imagine swapping out that harsh mouthwash for a soothing herbal rinse. It could be a nice way to keep things fresh while staying connected to our roots. What do you think? Imagine wrapping up your day with a soothing rinse of herb-infused water. Picture this, the gentle taste of mint or sage lingering on your tongue as you ease into your bedtime routine. There's no overpowering mint flavor or that harsh scrubbing feeling. Instead, it's just a refreshing sensation that whispers, "Hey, it's time to wind down." This simple act, free from the stress of modern dental perfection, really helps you transition into sleep more peacefully. It's like giving yourself a little gift at the end of the day, allowing you to let go of all those anxieties and just relax. You know what I mean? It's such a cozy way to signal to your body that it's time to rest and recharge for tomorrow. As we let the taste of those ancient herbs slip away from our minds, we hit a pivotal moment. Seriously, what can we learn from how people back in medieval times tackled cleanliness? It's fascinating to think about their mindset. They seem to embrace a simpler, more carefree approach that maybe kept their worries at bay. This final piece of their hygiene puzzle was all about balance and connection with nature. They used herbs not just for flavor, but for their healing properties, which might have helped them feel more grounded and less anxious. So what do you think? Could we take a page from their book and find a little more peace in our own lives? Freedom from germ anxiety. As we keep wandering through the fascinating world of medieval cleanliness, we stumble upon a really interesting topic, the cleanliness of the mind. Let's dive into this idea with the same curious spirit that's brought us here, okay? Imagine, if you will, a world where the invisible realm of microbes was entirely unknown. A time when the pervasive fear of germs simply did not exist. This was the reality for our medieval ancestors, and it shaped their relationship with cleanliness in profound ways. We're living in a time where it feels like we're constantly hit with messages about germs, bacteria, and viruses, right? It's like every day there's a new reminder to grab that hand sanitizer or wipe down our surfaces with disinfectants. And while this focus on cleanliness has done wonders for public health like reducing the spread of colds and flu, it's also cranked up the anxiety levels about being clean and avoiding contamination. You ever notice how we're all a bit on edge now? It's almost like we're in a never-ending battle against invisible enemies. You see people obsessively cleaning their phones or avoiding crowded places, and it makes you wonder, are we being too careful? It's a double-edged sword. Sure, staying clean is important, but this heightened awareness can make everyday life feel a bit overwhelming. What do you think? Are we going overboard with this cleanliness craze? Close your eyes and picture yourself in that medieval world. Feel the absence of that subtle, ever-present worry about unseen pathogens. There is no frantic search for a sink to wash your hands after touching a doorknob. No hesitation before shaking hands with a stranger. No compulsion to sanitize every surface in your home. Their understanding of how diseases spread was pretty straightforward. If they could see it, it was real. This way of thinking, while it had its downsides for public health, actually meant they weren't constantly stressed about invisible threats lurking around every corner. Can you imagine living like that? There was this refreshing acceptance of the body's natural state and the environment as it is, just letting life happen without the weight of unseen dangers hanging over them. It's almost nostalgic, right? They embraced the world around them, flaws and all, without overthinking every little germ or virus. Breathe deeply and let yourself experience the profound lack of germ obsession. Feel how a significant source of modern underlying anxiety simply melts away. In this medieval mindset, the natural world is not a battleground of microscopic warfare, but simply the environment in which one lives and works. Without the germ theory in play, people back then had a totally different vibe about cleanliness. Sure, they liked to feel fresh, but their ideas about natural smells and how the body should be were way more chill and relaxed than ours today. Imagine a society where subtle body odors were just part of being human, not something we feel we have to scrub away or apologize for all the time. Picture this: people walking around feeling totally at ease in their skin, without that constant pressure to be perfectly clean by today's standards. How liberating would that be? This acceptance could create a more chill vibe, where folks have a better relationship with their own bodies. You know, maybe we'd embrace our natural sense, finding beauty in our uniqueness instead of hiding it. It's kind of wild to think about how freeing that could be, right? Imagine finally feeling free from all that nagging shame or self-consciousness about your body and its natural functions. In this medieval world, we're embracing our humanity, quirks and all. You know, whether it's a little stomach growl or an unexpected smell, it's all part of being human. We're not perfect, and that's absolutely okay. It's like celebrating our imperfections together, recognizing that these little things don't define us, but rather connect us in our shared experience. Isn't that refreshing? This page in their book of cleanliness reveals a profound lesson, maybe the biggest source of our hygiene related. Stress today isn't even about actual dirt, but rather the anxiety that comes with it. Can you believe that? Back then, their approach to cleanliness was way more relaxed, free from the heavy mental load of germ phobia and the constant pressure to keep everything perfectly sanitized. Picture a typical medieval evening with me. As the day winds down, there's no crazy rush to scrub away every trace of the day's activities. No frantic hand washing before diving into dinner. Instead, they'd simply wash their hands and faces, maybe splashing some fresh water from a nearby stream or well. It's all about keeping it simple and easy, right? That kind of mindset sounds pretty refreshing, don't you think? Just imagine how much lighter life could feel without that constant worry about cleanliness. Imagine sitting down for a meal surrounded by loved ones and not feeling that nagging worry about whether the food is safe to eat. Back in the day, sure, there were risks, but people didn't have all this information swirling around in their heads. They just enjoyed their meals, savoring each bite without that constant anxiety. It's kind of nice to think about, right? You could just dig in and appreciate the flavors and the company, which feels like a luxury in our overly cautious world today. Wouldn't it be great to experience that kind of carefree dining again? As night falls, imagine settling down to sleep without the compulsion to sanitize your sleeping area. The bed, while perhaps not meeting our modern standards of cleanliness, is accepted as it is. There is no tossing and turning, worrying about dust mites or bacteria on the pillow. Sleep comes more easily, unburdened by these modern concerns. This sense of mental cleanliness and embracing our natural bodies and surroundings really does wonders for our overall vibe, right? It's like when you finally declutter your space, everything feels lighter. Imagine how that freedom from stress can lead to a smoother journey into sleep, where we can let go of those pesky worries that often swirl in our minds as we try to drift off. Think about those nights when your mind races with thoughts about work or life, but with this kind of acceptance, it's like you're giving yourself permission to relax fully. That's a game changer. As we reflect on this aspect of medieval life, we might find ourselves yearning for a bit of that mental peace. While we cannot and should not abandon our modern understanding of hygiene and disease prevention, perhaps we can learn to loosen our grip on the constant need for perfect cleanliness. Imagine incorporating a bit of that medieval mindset into your own life. Perhaps it means being less anxious about a bit of dirt under your fingernails after gardening, or allowing yourself to enjoy a picnic in the park without constant worry about unseen threats. It might mean accepting the natural scents of your body rather than trying to eliminate them entirely. This is not to say we should abandon modern hygiene practices. Rather, it's an invitation to find a balance, to recognize that our obsession with cleanliness can sometimes do more harm than good, creating unnecessary stress and anxiety. As you drift towards sleep, just picture yourself sinking into that blissful medieval peace of mind, right? Let all that modern germ anxiety just float away like clouds on a sunny day. Imagine your body just being free from judgment and that constant pressure to improve. It's like giving yourself a cozy hug, you know? Feel every muscle relax as if you're lying on soft hay in a quiet barn, the gentle sounds of nature wrapping around you. You deserve this moment to unwind, to just be you without any expectations. In this state of acceptance, you might just discover a deeper, more restful sleep that feels absolutely amazing. Imagine your mind free from that constant worry about all those invisible threats lurking around. It's like giving yourself permission to truly relax and recharge, right? This is the beauty of that medieval mindset. It's not about obsessively controlling every little thing. It's about finding harmony with the natural world around you. Think about how people back then embraced the seasons and the cycles of life. They understood that sometimes you just have to go with the flow. So if you can tap into that mindset, you might find a level of peace that feels like a warm hug for your soul. How cool is that? So, my friend, as we close this chapter on medieval cleanliness, carry with you this lesson. In our quest for physical cleanliness, let us not forget the importance of mental cleanliness. Perhaps in finding a balance between our modern knowledge and the medieval acceptance of nature, we can discover a new kind of peace and restfulness. Let the gentle rhythm of your breath guide you towards sleep, letting go of all that modern hygiene anxiety that can weigh us down. Picture this. You're lying there, feeling that cozy warmth wrapping around you, and you realize you're clean enough, natural enough, and perfectly imperfect, just like nature intended. It's like a warm hug from the universe, right? Embracing this feeling of acceptance can lead you to the deepest, most restful sleep imaginable. So as you drift off, Remember that it's totally okay to be you, just as you are. The world can wait. This moment is all about you. As our peaceful journey through time comes to a close, allow the quiet wisdom of medieval cleanliness to settle gently within you. We've explored how they stayed clean without showers, not through a lack of care, but through a different, often resourceful approach. They relied on fresh, air-dry cleansing, targeted washing, natural herbs, communal baths, smart, layering earth-based cleaners, and perhaps most importantly, a profound acceptance of their bodies and their environment. They found comfort and a sense of freshness, not through constant scrubbing, but through consistent natural practices. Their relationship with cleanliness was less about anxiety and more about practical well-being and understanding their peaceful way of being clean. You can find a quiet echo of that ancient calm within yourself. My friend, you don't need to abandon modern hygiene, but perhaps you can gently consider, can you open a window and let the fresh air in? Can you appreciate the simple refreshment of a focused wash? Can you find moments of acceptance, letting go of the need for perfect sanitation? Can you, for a moment, release the anxiety about germs and simply trust your body's inherent resilience? Your body, my friend, is incredibly wise. It finds comfort in simplicity. It finds peace and acceptance. It finds rest when the mind is free from unnecessary burdens. May this journey bring you a profound sense of tranquility. May it offer you a gentle invitation to your own deep restorative slumber. Imagine for a moment the medieval world we've explored. Picture this, the cool night air settling over a quiet village where you can hear the soft glow of candlelight flickering through small windows. It's like a cozy little postcard from the past, right? The gentle rustling of straw mattresses as families snuggle in for the night adds to that vibe. There's a certain peace in this simplicity, a rhythm that just feels so in tune with nature. You can almost smell the wood smoke from the hearth and hear the distant hoot of an owl. It's a world where time seems to slow down, inviting you to breathe deeply and appreciate the little things. Doesn't that sound lovely? Back in the day, sleep was this cozy escape, totally uninterrupted by the harsh glow of screens or those annoying pings from notifications. Instead, the darkness wrapped around you like a warm blanket, right? The only sounds you'd hear were the gentle whispers of nature, maybe a distant owl hooting or the soft rustle of leaves swaying in the wind. It was like a natural lullaby, soothing you into slumber, making you feel so connected to the world around you. Can you imagine how peaceful that must have been? Just pure tranquility, with nothing but the night to cradle you into dreamland. What a vibe! As you settle into your cozy bed tonight, take a moment to really connect with that ancient peace. Imagine drifting back to a time when night was all about rest, right? Picture this, the sun sets and all those worries of the day just melt away. Sleep wasn't a battle back then. It was like a warm hug waiting for you. Remember those nights when you'd close your eyes and fall into a dream without a second thought? Embrace that feeling. Let your mind wander to those simpler times where relaxation came naturally and you could truly recharge for a fresh new day. It's all about finding that calm, you know? Feel the weight of your body sinking into your mattress, much as our medieval ancestors sank into their simple beds. Let each breath carry you deeper into relaxation. As you exhale, release the tensions of the modern world. As you inhale, draw in the timeless peace of a world aligned with nature's rhythms. Remember the herbs they used for freshness. Imagine the soothing scent of lavender or the clean aroma of rosemary. These natural fragrances can still bring us comfort today. Perhaps you have a sachet nearby or simply the memory of these scents. Let them guide you towards tranquility. Think of the acceptance they had for their bodies and their environment. In a world without constant comparison or unrealistic standards, they found peace in being. As you drift towards sleep, allow yourself that same acceptance. Let go of judgments and simply be. The medieval people we've explored understood the value of rest. They knew that sleep was not just a necessity, but a gift of time for the body and soul to renew. With the setting of the sun, they embraced the darkness, not as something to fear, but as a natural part of life's cycle. As you close your eyes tonight, embrace that same wisdom. Let the quiet of the night envelop you like a warm blanket. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest with each breath. Allow your mind to wander through the peaceful scenes we've explored together. The soft glow of a candle, the warmth of a simple hearth, the comfort of knowing that tomorrow will come in its own time. As we bid farewell to our journey through medieval cleanliness and rest, know that you carry a piece of that ancient wisdom within you. Simplicity, the acceptance, the connection to natural rhythms. These are gifts that transcend time, gifts that can bring you peace in our modern world. May this little journey through history not only fill your mind with fascinating stories, but also wrap you in a warm blanket of calm. Picture this. As you dive into these tales, you might just find a cozy pathway leading you to restful sleep, away from the craziness of our everyday hustle. If this peaceful exploration has brought you even a smidge of comfort, why not stick around for more? Together we can uncover more of these hidden gems of tranquility. Let's keep exploring and find those sweet spots of serenity in forgotten histories. And now, my friend, as our time together draws to a close, allow yourself to drift gently into your own peaceful slumber. Let the echoes of medieval simplicity guide you towards rest. Release your cares to the night, and know that like countless generations before you, you too will find renewal in sleep. Good night, and may your dreams be as peaceful as a quiet